The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Vedanta and its application to Indian life, Part 9. But it was only for the sannyasi Rahasya. The Upanishads were in the hands of the sannyasi. He went into the forest. Shankara was a little kind and said even Grihasth may study the Upanishads. It will do them good. It will not hurt them. But still, the idea is that the Upanishads talked only of forest life of the recluse. As I told you the other day, the only commentary, the authoritative commentary on the Vedas, has been made once and for all by him who inspired the Vedas, by Krishna in the Gita. It is there for everyone in every occupation of life. These conceptions of the Vedanta must come out, must remain not only in the forest, not only in the cave, but must come out to work at the bar and the bench, in the pulpit and in the cottage of the poor man, with the fishermen that are catching fish and with the students who are studying. They call to every man, woman, and child, whatever be their occupation, wherever they may be. And what is there to fear? How can the fishermen and all these carry out the ideals of the Upanishads? The way has been shown. It is infinite. Religion is infinite. None can go beyond it. And whatever you do sincerely is good for you. Even the least thing well done brings marvelous results. Therefore, let everyone do whatever little he can. If the fisherman thinks that he is the spirit, he will be a better fisherman. If the student thinks he is the spirit, he will be a better student. If the lawyer thinks that he is the spirit, he will be a better lawyer, and so on. And the result will be that the caste will remain forever. It is in the nature of society to form itself into groups, and what will go will be these privileges. Caste is a natural order. I can perform one duty in social life and you another. You can govern a country and I can mend a pair of old shoes. But that is no reason why you are greater than I. For can you mend my shoes? Can I govern the country? I am clever in mending shoes. You are clever in reading the Vedas. But that is no reason why you should trample on my head. Why, if one man commits murder, should he be praised? And if another steals an apple, why should he be hanged? This will have to go. Caste is good. That is the only natural way of solving life. Men must form themselves into groups, and you cannot get rid of that. Wherever you go, there will be caste. But that does not mean that there should be these privileges. They should be knocked on the head. If you teach Vedanta to the fisherman, he will say, I am as good a man as you are. I am a fisherman and you are a philosopher. But I have the same God in me as you have in you. And that is what we want. No privilege for anyone. Equal chances for all. Let everyone be taught that the divine is within and everyone will work out his own salvation. Liberty is the first condition of growth. It is wrong, 1,000 times wrong, if any one of you dares say, I will work out the salvation of this woman or child. I am asked again and again what I think of the widow problem and what I think of the woman question. Let me answer it once and for all. Am I a widow that you ask me that nonsense? Am I a woman that you ask me that question again and again? Who are you to solve the woman's problems? Are you the Lord's God that you should rule over every widow and every woman? Hands off. They will solve their own problems. O tyrants attempting to think that you do anything for anyone, hands off. The divine will look after all. Who are you to assume that you know everything? How dare you think, O blasphemers, that you have the right over God. For don't you know that every soul is the soul of God? Mind your own karma. A load of karma is there in you to work out. Your nation may put you upon a pedestal. Your society may cheer you up to the skies, and fools may praise you. But he sleeps not, and retribution will be sure to follow, here or hereafter. Look upon every man, woman, and every one as God. You cannot help everyone. You cannot help anyone. You can only serve. Serve the children of the Lord. Serve the Lord Himself. If you have the privilege, if the Lord grants that you can help any one of His children, blessed you are. Do not think too much of yourselves. Blessed you are that privilege was given to you when others had it not. Do it only as a worship. I should see God in the poor, for it is my salvation that I go and worship them. The poor and the miserable are for our salvation, so that we may serve the Lord, coming in the shape of the deceased, coming in the shape of the lunatic, the leper, and the sinner. Bold are my words, and let me repeat that it is the greatest privilege in our life that we are allowed to serve the Lord in all these shapes. Give up the idea that by ruling over others you can do any good to them. But you can do just as much as you can. In case you plant, you can supply the growing seed with the materials for the making up of its body, bringing to it the earth, the water, the air that it wants. It will take all that it wants by its own nature. It will assimilate and grow by its own nature. Bring all the light into the world. Light, bring light. Let light come unto everyone. The task will not be finished till everyone has reached the law. Bring light to the poor and bring more light to the rich, for they require it more than the poor. Bring light to the ignorant and more light to the educated, for the vanities of the education of our time are tremendous. Thus bringing light to all and leave the rest unto the Lord. For in the words of the same Lord, to work you have the right, and not to the fruits thereof. Let not your work produce results for you, and at the same time, may you never be without work. May He who taught such grand ideas to our forefathers ages ago come and help us to get the strength to carry into practice His commands.